Welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard podcast, where everyone should be seen and heard. And today's sponsors are ABL Realty Services, located in historic North Nashville, 3524 West Hamilton Avenue. Contact Dan Lane at his office at 615-244-6446 or cell 615-540-5558, or his email, which you see here on the screen. Contact him if you're in need of any commercial real estate property management. And I also have the sponsorship from VSL Nail Spa. They have appointments and walk-ins. They are located at 387 West Main Street, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Walk-ins welcome. I got my nails, as you see here in the picture, my lovely nails were done by Kane. So go in and ask for Kane and tell them that Sharon, the host of Seen and Heard podcast, suggested that you come and get your gel nails done. So as you see here on the ticker, their number 615-264-7116, West Main Street in Hendersonville, Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m., 7:30 p.m., and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So let's get into our show. We're going to open up with troubling developments from the world of influencers. And let's start here.
With 2 months to go before the election, the Biden administration says it is cracking down on foreign countries trying to influence opinion in the U.S. The target, Russia. The DOJ announcing the seizure of 32 internet domains used or sponsored by the Russian government, it says, to spread bogus news stories.
These websites were designed to appear to American readers as if they were major U.S. news sites.
The DOJ also indicting 2 employees of the Russia-funded media company RT, which was banned in the U.S. following the invasion of Ukraine.
Since at least last year, RT has used people living and working inside the U.S. to facilitate contracts with American media figures.
The 2 Russian nationals are accused of running a $10 million scheme to fund and direct a U.S. company producing videos, mostly directed to the publicly stated goals of the Russian government, according to the indictment.
The U.S. company Stephanie mentioned in her report produced 2,000 YouTube videos that racked up more than 16 million views since launching just in November of last year. According to the indictment, about $8.7 million was paid to the production companies of 3 online commentators. One of them, who prosecutors say has 2.4 million followers on YouTube, received $400,000 a month plus a $100,000 signing bonus. That commentator had to make just 4 videos a week for that cash. Joining us now, Democratic member of the Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. Senator, it's good to have you with us this morning. A lot to talk to you about, but let's start right here. What is your reaction to what you read in those more than 30 pages of the Justice Department indictment, laying out chapter and verse how a state media organization in Russia, therefore the Russian government, funneled money to conservative influencers to spout their propaganda here in the U.S.?
This is a stunning indictment, and it really shows potentially how deeply integrated Russia is with the MAGA media environment. This company that is described in Tennessee as a pretty well-known MAGA media company. It has on its payroll many of the top pro-Trump voices in this country, and they were knowingly conspiring with Russia, using millions of dollars to put content online and to pay a number of pro-Trump commentators that have been pushing an anti-Harris and pro-Russia narrative for months. So unfortunately, this may be the tip of the iceberg. It is possible that there are many other mainstream conservative websites that are in the pocket of the Russian government. And I'm glad that the Justice Department is on top of this. I'm glad that the notice is now out to any other MAGA media companies that may be taking Russian money, that this is not going to be permitted and that you're going to be held accountable if you're doing business with Vladimir Putin.
Troubling developments. So, the author page for Lauren Chin is no longer available on the web page for the far right activist. Charlie Kirk's organization Turning Point USA, along with her husband Chin, co founded a company, Tenet Media. That's at the heart of the DOJ indictment. YouTube took down several Tenet Media channels, and one field reporter said the outlet has ended after the feds alleged Chan and her husband knowingly used it to funnel millions of dollars from Russian officials to right wing content creators who were paid to push far right and pro Kremlin talking points. So, one of the influencers, we will hear from him here in just a second. I believe his name is Dan Boy Dan Bongino. So let's hear what Mr. Dan has to say.
People working with the feds right now to try to ensnare other conservative influencers into this alleged operation. I'm just going to say this. Be very careful who you're emailing, and be very careful who you're talking to, and be very careful that you're not talking to someone working with the feds on the other end of the line. But I'd be remiss.
So what exactly, well, we kind of know what exactly he means by that comment. That actually sounds like a threat. So, but I will have the links to these articles where you can um, read the articles yourselves. I also want to talk about the conservative activists who launched a $1 billion crusade to crush liberal America. And his name is Leonard Leo. We need to keep talking about these guys because they have a lot of money and they are trying to disrupt democracy. I'm going to share this article here. This article is from the Financial Times, and I won't read the whole thing, but to give you an idea, the conservative activist who led the crusade to overhaul the U.S. legal system is making a 1 billion push to crush liberal dominance across corporate America and in the country's news and entertainment sectors. In a rare interview, Leonard Leo, the architect of the rightward shift on the Supreme Court under Donald Trump, said his nonprofit advocacy group, the Marble Freedom Trust, was ready to confront the private sector in addition to the government. We need to crush liberal dominance where it's most insidious, so we'll direct resources to build talent and capital formation pipelines in the areas of news and entertainment, where left wing extremism is most evident, Leo told the Financial Times. I don't know what they're talking about with the left wing extremism because the left side of the aisle is trying to help and support everyone. So I will post the article links so that you can look at them in full, read them in full. And closing out here, we are still um, doing our fundraising, trying to meet our goal for fundraising. We have a QR code up here. You can scan your phone If you would like to support, if you would like to be a guest on the show, there will be a link in this description box as well. Also, leave us a voicemail. If you don't want to be a guest, just leave us a voicemail and let us know how we're doing, what you would like to hear more of in the coming podcast. We're getting close to the end of the season, and all of your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Anything that you can donate helps us with the programming and the production of the podcast. And with that, I will leave you and look forward to the next podcast. Thank you.